And we'll salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Malinsky. Here. Trustee Trombley.
Here.
Trustee Trombley. Here. Trustee Garrett.
Here.
Mayor McFetrich.
Here. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, November 9th, 2020?
So moved.
And a second? Nikki said second. Any corrections? These were marathon minutes. I just want to tell Mary she did a fantastic job. She could practically publish a book of minutes, these are so long. No corrections, anyone? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have minutes of the special village board meeting, November 18th, 2020. May I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Presentation of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community. We have no one here tonight. We'll dispense with that. Report from the codes enforcement officer. I do not believe that we got one.
No.
I can tell you that Mike's been busy with some of the properties in the village, specifically a couple on South Street, one on Route 9 near the office, one downtown. So he's been sending some more letters on those, but I do not have a report from him. All right, report from the mayor. Whoops, started to lick my finger and I have a mask on.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get all good at not doing those things, right?
Yeah.
That's right. We're gonna create better
Oh,
habits.
gosh. Welcome to our final board meeting of 2020. Oh, big sigh. It's been an unusual year filled with uncertainty and adjustments. Our community has met these challenging times head on. I've seen many acts of generosity and caring, from gift baskets and food deliveries, to phone calls to check in on folks, to public gestures thanking our healthcare workers and essential employees all over our area, which includes the Village of Champlain employees. We're a tightly knit group who will always look out for one another. A newly created event, which was very well received, was the Champlain Parade of Lights. Kudos to the Champlain Fire Department for all their work in contacting the participants and making the route safe. Everyone, young and old, thoroughly enjoyed seeing the brightly lit vehicles as they passed by, honking horns and sounding sirens. In the words of one resident, she wrote to me, "It made me feel like a child again. Such joy." I can assure you that this will become an annual event. Winter has arrived. I remind you to move your garbage cans away from the sidewalks soon after pickup days, and do not park on the village streets between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. This will allow the sidewalks and streets to be plowed more efficiently. The Village of Champlain Hometown Heroes applications with payment are due by December 31st. You may drop off the form and a check in the drop box outside the office. Photos can be scanned and emailed to the office. These new banners and the ones from last spring will be put up around Memorial Day 2021. It's our pleasure to recognize and honor the many veterans from Champlain who have served our country. I would like to extend wishes from the village of Champlain and from my family to all of you for a joyous holiday season. May you all remain healthy and happy. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Report from the trustees. Nikki?
Well, like you said, the generosity of the community is amazing. Over Thanksgiving break, there was a family who had some positive COVID tests, and knowing that it was Thanksgiving and that they probably hadn't, picked up their turkey yet, Janet and I were able to grab a few donations, and I delivered the Thanksgiving dinner to them. So, and it was very well appreciated. Like, they had no words to say, pretty much, because, they were very happy, appreciative of the community for doing something so generous. December's going well. I do have a December countdown on our Facebook page. Every day there's a trivia question or an activity or a challenge for families to do, just to count down the days and get into the holiday spirit. Some of those activities are making snowflakes, paper snowflakes or paper chains, having a family game night, or baking cookies. I did challenge them to write a Christmas card or pick up like a gift for the postman, the mail carriers, thanking a neighbor, and that's going well. I mean, there are a few participants in that, so it's nice to see. Also included in that was the candy cane hunt event that happened this past weekend. We had 30 kids join us.
Nice.
They had a good time, the weather was perfect. I had 25 craft kits, which we usually do a craft event at the meeting house that same day. But because of COVID, we couldn't get together, but I was able to hand out those craft kits at the candy cane hunt, so they were able to take them home and do them at home. And those were pre-registered. Usually we have enough for everyone, but because of time and money, we had to set a limit on that. I also did a collection for the ARC in Plattsburgh. They were looking for donations of craft items, DVDs, games, puzzles, and so on. We had 5 families donate construction paper, puzzles, games, cards, DVDs, and myself and one other family picked up coloring books, and crayons also, so that was delivered today. They were very appreciative of that. Let's see. Our Santa mailbox is still out at the meeting house.
It is.
And Santa is still writing back to the children, so that's up for how much longer really?
Maybe a week? How far do we have? Today's the 14th, maybe 5 more days?
Yeah, I would say.
I'd say 5 more days, that gives me enough time to get those to Santa.
Sounds good, so the rest of this week you have, if you'd like to send a letter out to Santa, the mailbox is still there. Moving forward, January, I may do a trivia Zoom night again. I did one over the summer, spring or
I
summer.
don't know, time's just blending
Yeah,
together.
I know, huh?
And it went well, but I mean, winter's coming, so it's something that families can stay in and we can do. And with technology in schools right now, everyone knows how to do a Zoom meeting, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun. I can come up with some winter trivia,
Nice.
for that. And I'll throw in a cooking class. So we'll get that out there on, all the information's on the Facebook page, so. That is all I have.
Thanks, Nikki. You've been really busy.
Yeah.
The candy cane hunt was just fabulous. It was so much fun. It was really good. Kim was there. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all of that.
Welcome. Thank you.
Tom?
Okay. I wanted to mention the Parade of Lights. Kim and I attended, and Willow. She wasn't afraid, she thought it was great, but it was awesome. It
Yeah.
really was. The attendance was amazing.
I couldn't believe it.
I mean,
The streets were packed.
the
When I came
streets
down,
were
yeah.
packed, I know. Was
It was
Church
nice.
Street full as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assumed it was. Ellen was lined right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parking lot at Price Chopper was packed
Oh,
with people
really?
facing Route 11.
Really?
There must have been 1,000 people watching.
Wow.
Oh my, that's awesome. And it's nice that all the communities around have been doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
We've all had good turnouts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's pretty awesome. So kudos to all of you who worked hard on that, to the people that were involved and decorated and so on. Wanna mention real quick that 28th of December is our next blood drive at the EMS station. Please come and donate. As always, there's a need in the winter. The donations usually go down typically. And I know, you know, the spikes that we're getting in COVID is probably a worry for some, but, you know, I assure you they are very safe. So please come out and donate. Met with, town supervisor today as the chair of the water board, trying to find out where our stalemate is because we haven't heard from them. And, basically learned that, one of the trustees is crunching numbers and has questions, in which case I said, well, then you need a meeting with the water board in order to answer how we arrived at our numbers. And then there's also Larry's feeling that the water rate isn't correct, because how could you sell water under the raw cost of water? And as I explained to him, the reason for that is there's other revenue besides the KGAL, charge per KGAL. You have your service fees, you have the O&M. The O&M is revenue towards the overall budget. So I think that I, you know, made some headway there explaining those things, but we definitely need to meet. So there's gonna be a meeting, I'm thinking with the water board first, and then probably with the village board and the town board together, to resolve this, because we have to resolve it. I mean,
Yeah.
we really do, because the only other step is to go to arbitration, which I'm not afraid of, but I think it's a waste of money. It's just gonna, it's just gonna give our attorneys more revenue, and it's gonna take more out of our funds. So I'm hoping we can resolve this without going there.
I hope so.
So I'm waiting for, Mr. Barcombe to give me a date and a time and a plan, whether we get both boards there at the same time or we meet 2 different times. I've left it up to him and his trustee.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for meeting.
Do any of the trustees here have questions regarding that? Can Amy and
Amy's
Kim
shaking
hear
her
me?
head no.
Okay,
Nope, she said no. No, I guess we'll just wait and see if we can have that meeting, and maybe we can iron some things out.
yeah, we have to do it, you know, we have to just resolve all this, all
Yeah.
these, a lot of it are old feelings that keep reoccurring. But I did know, you know, I warned the board when we wrote the report that that raw cost of water sticks out there because it is more than what we charge our village residents, and I knew it would be a flag. But the last time we met with the town board as a water board, I pointed out that that is not all of our revenue.
Right, yeah.
It's not, I mean, you know, if we were to sell above the raw costs and have all the additional revenue coming in, such as the service fees, et cetera,
Mm-hmm,
we'd have even more of a healthy fund balance.
mm-hmm. Right,
But anyways, so I'll be in touch with you, Janet,
Yeah.
when I find out what the plan is.
I'm sure this board would be very happy to meet with the town board and discuss things very openly.
Yeah, and I stressed that it had to be the whole board,
Yeah.
not just certain members. We need to do this as a board,
Mm-hmm,
and on both sides.
mm-hmm, right.
Other than that, Merry Christmas to everybody. And I
Thank you.
hope that somehow we find a way to be with our families and get through this, because it's not gonna be easy.
No, it's not.
For my family in particular, is we're too spread out.
Yeah, yeah. Kim? Do you have a report, Kim? Oh, is she frozen? Amy, can you hear me?
No.
Oh, wait, so are you. Okay. Can you hear me, Amy? Oh, it says it's unstable. Kim's frozen. Amy's frozen.
What does it mean?
What do I have to do?
Unstable?
The internet's unstable.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Oh, wow, there. I just went
Yeah.
away. Reconnecting.
We'll just-
I could also do my phone. I was trying to reconnect. Do you know any more about this, Nikki, than I do?
No.
It just says it's trying, there's a problem joining the meeting.
I've never had that happen in the middle of a meeting.
Yeah.
I have had it happen before.
This is the one?
It's the bottom one, it's
Oh.
this one. There we are.
Let's see. That's nothing.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, gosh. We
Say
could
the
just
least.
do a,
Large one on speakerphone.
we could do a
Good. Where's my phone?
FaceTime.
There. Yeah, we could do FaceTime, exactly.
Like I could do a, I
Can you do Kim?
I can do Kim.
One of us do Amy?
Yeah, maybe. I
Can you
think
get,
so.
can you get multiple on a FaceTime?
Well,
Yeah.
You
oh,
can?
I don't,
I never tried it.
I haven't tried
I've
that.
had conference calls before, but never
You
tried
can,
it
because
with
I've-
FaceTime.
Well,
We've been
can we
all
just
our
have two,
sisters
can
have
we
been
just
on.
have two phones and,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we usually do it on, WhatsApp because Justin's in Canada.
Yeah, there's no finding.
okay, so Kim, you're on FaceTime now. The internet's just not stable here.
Okay,
Okay, I can hear.
okay.
And
So,
Amy, Tom's calling you, I think. Can you do FaceTime?
No, I can hear fine with Tim's phone.
all right, I've got my phone right next to the computer,
Oh,
Janet,
so
I think
they're
we're
in,
good.
still working.
Okay,
That'll work.
okay. Oh, wait a minute.
And if you're not,
You're back.
Should I hang up on FaceTime and we'll see?
yes.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay, so Kim, a report from you?
Okay, so I know that you had asked, the personnel committee to look at longevity,
Yes.
Yes.
and I know Nikki looked at it, with anything in the, in the personnel, policy, and I did not see anything other than, I don't have it up in front of me. It didn't talk about any, like, payout or any compensation for,
Right.
any whatsoever.
Right.
I did go back to the union contract, and there is a section in the union contract on longevity, for 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30 years. So, I don't know if you want me to give the figures on that, but other than that, there is nothing in the personnel
No.
on longevity, so.
I know, yeah. I know a few years ago, Kim, you and I went over the contract at Greg's request to try to get a little more in line, the two, personnel policy and the union contract. And I think particularly in such a small group, and I want the board to weigh in on this because you may not all agree with me, but when there are some kind of big differences, there can be bad feelings. Or if not bad feelings, it just doesn't seem fair. So that longevity part is just one that's always popped out at me, but I wanted you two to look at it and I just want some input really on if that's something that we should consider having some kind of longevity. I mean, I don't see us making any decisions right this minute, but I think the discussion needs to be had of whether or not there shouldn't be some longevity in the personnel policy as there is in the union.
I can tell you in the union contract, it's section 7.4, longevity will be
40 hours.
included in the payroll.
Based on 40-hour weeks.
It's based on 80 hours, which is 26 weeks times, no, it's
Yep.
40 hours a week.
Can you hear Juanita?
No,
It's how the longevity is in their payroll, it's broken down into 40 hours per week times 52, which is 80 hours for a year. So whatever they get for longevity is divided by that, and then that amount is added to their hourly pay.
Makes sense.
okay.
But it does not include salary.
So if that's
Right.
something that
That's the,
we wanna look at for the non-union people, those are the dollar figures.
All right.
Is that what you're looking at, is just non-union, or what are you
Well,
looking at?
the union right now has a longevity clause in their contract. The salaried employees do not have, a and, right, the salary employees do not have a longevity, amount added. Even if it were a 1-year bonus, maybe it's not I mean, salary is, you know, I don't know, but there are different ways we could do it, but I'm just wondering if there shouldn't be something for longevity.
Something similar.
Something similar, it doesn't have to be the same, but something similar, so if you do work here for, 5, 10, 20 years here, it's rewarded.
Right.
There's something we definitely could talk about later, I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Not bad figures. You know, it's not like we're talking 300 employees.
Right,
We're a very small group.
right,
And all of our employees have been there quite a long time.
yeah,
I mean,
Over
our
5 years.
newest employee's been with us now 2 or 3 years. So, I think it behooves us to look at this and think about it because, people change jobs quite often these days and it's hard to sometimes keep good people when the grass is greener somewhere else. So it really does benefit us to reward our people for staying with us.
yeah, I agree. All right,
So, I don't think that the union rates that are in here are really, astronomical amounts. So and my feeling is that this would be very doable for our salaried employees.
So, could the two of you put together a few scenarios maybe, a few suggestions for us to mull over? Does that make sense?
were you able to hear that?
No, I didn't hear
Yeah,
what Tom said.
it's hard, I know it's
know.
hard to hear. Tom suggested that maybe, you two on the personnel committee come up with a couple of scenarios, and present those to the board next month.
A couple of suggestions of ways we can,
Yeah, different ways that we might be able to do this, different ideas.
Okay.
Okay,
Nikki and I'll talk.
okay, great. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Is that it, Kim?
That is it. Tom gave an update on the water board, so that's basically it.
Okay.
No, one more thing. Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and you do not want to quarantine like I'm doing again for the second time.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
stay out of quarantine.
I miss my kids in school.
Yeah. Well, you got your cute dog.
That's keeping her busy.
Okay, Amy?
So just on that piece with the, longevity, we will need to check to see if how that proceeds for, bonus, whether that's allowed, or whatnot, cause you can't really change the salary. You have to,
Right.
it's an end-of-year bonus.
Right.
We have to look at the logistics, if that is allowed or not, or whether we just roll it into a pay increase at the end of the year,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
Makes sense.
So on that note, the garden grant is almost complete, and that's ahead of schedule. I still have 4 days, so that is good news.
can come up with prizes, can't we?
Mhm.
We can come up with prizes.
Okay, so the voting, regardless whether there's prizes or not, I don't think people really need the prizes, you know, it's just, it's a
Bragging rights.
little recognition.
The notoriety.
Love it. So voting will take place starting, Friday throughout the weekend, into early next week, so we'll get, the announcement to Juanita and Mary, by Monday, so that it can get posted, so people can be sure to do drive-bys, because everyone's doing drive-bys this year.
Yeah.
It's all we have, so. On that quarantine note, Kim, take that feeling and being a resident now,
Oh shoot, she froze again.
Oh, no, not now.
in your rooms, and
That's true. Being a resident in a nursing home, stuck in my room.
We've lost it again.
Well, it's close enough, so you just took an whole house.
so some of what
Yeah,
people
with a
are
dog.
doing is rallying around, I know I just got off a family council meeting just before this, up in Malone, and they're trying to pull together a community, come, you know, decorate your car, have signs, sing from, you know, the bottom of your toes, so Christmas carols to the residents, to give them that 5 minute of joy that's just so lacking. So everyone is really struggling. If everyone's looking for the true spirit of Christmas, reach out to the elderly, even here in our community, shut their apartments.
I agree.
homes. This is just a horrifying situation for people to go through, and they are losing hope and losing, any thought that this will come to an end. On a positive note, the vaccines are here. My first facility will get their first round on December 30th. Hopefully others will be before then, but I just have one that has been announced for that.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But even with the vaccines, that's not gonna change how we're all, able to deal with this whole situation.
Not
So,
immediately, no.
just keep that in mind, that it's not necessarily a monetary gift, there's money that's involved. It's a simple sign with a heart that, you know, we're thinking of these people and trying to help them get through this, cause it's rough, guys. It's beyond rough, for them and their families, and for everyone. This is not an ideal situation. So on that note, a happier note, sorry, Merry Christmas to everybody, and, you know, to re-emphasize that we have an amazing, amazing community, and people, you know, reach out and want to make that difference to everybody, and I can't thank everybody in our community for being that kind of special people, because so many people don't know their neighbors, they don't take the time to reach out and touch, and in the North Country, we are blessed, and we are repeatedly blessed with, I need help, and no one says why, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? Let's go. What can we do? And so thank you to everyone, for that, because it does make a difference, and it counts, guys. It counts every minute that we step forward and say, what do you need? So thank you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, report from the clerk treasurer.
Okay, everyone
some
has their
transfers.
expense and revenue reports for November. We have to do a transfer, I had to mail out the check for retirement. And, we were short due to the fact that we have an extra employee who was employed the whole year. So we had to start, which I didn't. So our transfer, I've already mailed the check, but we have to have a transfer to, cover the deficits. To A 9010.8 retirement, $1,690. From A 9040.8 workers' comp, $1,690. To F, 9010.8 retirement, $676. From F, 9040.8 workers' comp, $676. And to G, 9010.8 retirement, $1,040. From G, 9040.8 workers' comp, $1,014.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you just for a second.
Yeah.
So I had to switch to FaceTime
Yeah.
because Zoom ended, but I think you may have to call Amy.
Yeah.
I've got Kim here.
Does she have FaceTime?
I don't know.
I don't,
No, I
don't
think
think she
she
does.
said something about she didn't have FaceTime, but then Janet, you came back on.
Yeah, well, right now,
I can put her on speakerphone now.
the meeting ended and they used to let you go over, but I guess now they're not.
No, no, I was surprised that popped up and I was like, oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amy says she hit the end.
Sorry, I hit end meeting instead of mute, so just can you let me back in?
No, I got a message, Amy, that the meeting ended because they would only allow 30 minutes.
Oh, I thought maybe I hit the wrong button. Okay.
Can you hear us okay? I'll just leave
I
you
can
on
hear you
speaker.
great. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you hear my transfers?
No,
I
nothing.
couldn't keep up with her anyway, so.
Okay,
So they're on the agenda.
Yes.
okay, so I had to do the transfers for the retirement.
Yeah.
Because we have an additional employee and we had a full year of wages. So, our workers' comp policy, is down, so I took the money out of workers' comp and transferred it to retirement.
Okay.
And those transfers were on the slip, on your agenda.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
I make a motion to approve these transfers as presented.
Is there-
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second discussion on these transfers. All right, roll call.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
Aye.
trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Garrett,
Hi.
Mayor Malinsky, Mayor. Trustee Malinsky, Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Okay, that was great. Presentation of the warrant and payment.
We have additional invoices of $4,369.26 for a total warrant of $136,289.02. This warrant includes our water payment to the town, plus it also includes our workers' comp payment.
Yeah, that was brutal.
It was brutal, but if you take out those big payments, it was relatively normal.
Right.
I did the math just to reassure
Oh,
myself.
yeah, no, I know. That was, I'm talking that workman's comp is brutal.
Oh, yeah,
It's that time of year.
yeah.
I make a motion to approve the warrant.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the warrant. Any other discussion, questions?
Nope.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Garrett,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
You did it, Juanita.
She really concentrated.
I heard the hesitation and what's her name? I'm gonna get it this time.
All right, report from the superintendent.
I had a lot of questions about streetlights. Most of them now should be fixed. We still have a couple that are out. I know there's one on the curve here, one on South Street. The other ones, they got a hold of me, most of them they have fixed. They've been having issues getting parts. Cause everybody's changing over to LEDs, so the parts for the old lights are getting harder to get. Janet did give me a number. I did get a hold of the lady for the LEDs. We still don't know when we're gonna have the LED lights. She hasn't gave me an update yet. They're still installing, but in other places. We're starting to have issues with people on the streets. I know Janet did mention it. Parking on the streets and sidewalks is hard for us to get through on the sides of roads. I don't know if it's something that the board could do and maybe change those hours.
Yeah, they're pretty
It's
limited.
very limited, because we don't, unless you want me to call guys out between 2 in the morning and 6 at night, it doesn't work for us.
Yeah,
I think that needs to be changed.
I agree.
you know, our parking on the streets, we don't go out in the middle of the night unless there's a huge storm, and I'm having issues, well, it's not in that time, so.
What is the time frame now?
2 AM to 6 AM.
2 in the morning to 6 in the morning, that doesn't work for us, unless I send the guys out in the middle of the night,
Right.
and that's,
Yeah.
so we need to
Right.
change, we need to see, do a,
What's reasonable, like 10, 11?
even from like, well, if there's a significant storm, obviously they can't be on the streets, but see, come in the morning, if the guys go out at 5, 6 o'clock, and the people are, you know, if it's still 6 in the morning, people are there, well, after 6 o'clock,
Mhm.
you know, streets aren't all complete by 6 o'clock, so it's, we need to lengthen
It needs to
that
go
out in the
later
morning,
into the morning.
later in the morning.
More than the evening time, you mean?
Yeah, 2 in the morning, I mean, unless it's a blizzard, we're not out at 2 in the morning.
No, but that's what I mean, is that
But
need
if
to
you have
be,
to go out before that.
yeah, does
Would
it
it
need to
rather
be
be
backed
like
up?
10 to 8,
Right.
10 PM to
Or
8
10
AM?
to 7 or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how else we can do it, but, cause that's one of the issues that lately we've had quite a few, somebody asked to move, I'm gonna give them a letter, and then the next time I'm just gonna have them towed. It's just some of them, it's the same ones every year. It's, it is what it is, but those hours, I wanna see at some point if maybe the board can change. We'll have to think about it, exactly what hours, and change that, cause it doesn't really work for us.
No, it doesn't.
Not really at all. I mean, that's okay if you have 2 shifts, you got guys plowing in the middle of the night, but it doesn't work unless they send the guys out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But
So-
typically they're going out, what, 5 AM or something like that?
Yeah, depending on how much snow, but yeah, 5:30, you know. Yeah, especially if they're school, try to get them out before the
So
buses.
you would need it extended a little bit later, like 7 or 8 in the
Yeah,
morning? And maybe start a little earlier than 2 AM, or
well, we don't, if
do you
it's,
ever go out in the evening like that?
the only time we go out like that is if it's a real bad storm.
Where you have to
In the middle of the night, you know, after 11 o'clock at night, usually in the middle of the night, unless it's real bad, we don't go out, there's not as much travel. We'll wait closer to morning, so. But we'll
But
have to,
still-
we can look at it and see what we wanna change, but I think that's something we need to look at.
Well, I guess,
They change.
It's in the code,
I
right?
would ask you to give us a suggestion of what you need.
I mean, if there's a,
What works for this crew, you know?
right, I mean, in some places it's, they put flashing lights on it, it's snow, you can't park on any streets.
Yeah,
And
Plattsburgh
that's-
does that.
Yeah, and that's, probably works better for, you know, so, but I do think we need to look at that, cause the
Yeah,
hours
okay.
we have doesn't really work for us.
So the cost to us would be some signage?
Well, I think if we,
Well, we would have to change the code.
I think we have to change
We
the
have
code
to
to a
change the
resolution.
code, that's one cost, but we'd also have to, don't we have signage out there?
I don't know,
I don't
there
think
might, there might be a
I
few,
think we might down near the Price Chopper.
there might be a
There's
few,
a few of them.
there's just a couple of them. I think on the, where you enter the village,
Yeah.
it might be on the big sign, but we can look at that, but I think that's something we have to look at and change.
All right,
Um,
I agree,
just, I mean,
but we need guidance from you for the hours.
for the hours.
Yeah, what really makes sense.
I mean, obviously, if we have a huge storm, we're gonna be out all night, but it's the morning time, usually that's the issue, you know, trying to get cleaned up in the morning. So,
Okay,
we did start, we're gonna freeze tomorrow, we're gonna do it again tomorrow. We did start, putting stone down on the edge of Prospect today. On the edge of the asphalt, we're gonna try to keep going this week, tomorrow, and hopefully get it done tomorrow. On the water side, we had another pressure reducer that failed, had to replace. I did have a meeting this week with, one of the EJ Prescott guys and AY McDonald. They're going back to the manufacturer to see if they can figure out what's causing the failures and see if there's something they can change. I have not heard back from them yet.
did this cause any damage?
Quite a bit of pressure. Nothing,
Significant,
yeah, insignificant.
okay.
We did have, Prescott came up and did our monthly water reading last month, because at that time, our computer system was down. And I think they're gonna be back, he's coming back next week to do them again, cause this is the billing reading, so they're gonna take a trip up, I think the 17th, I told them. They're gonna do the readings again for us. We've had 3 water breaks since our last meeting. 2 on Main Street, 1 on South Street. As far as equipment, we've been having a few issues with some of the equipment. I did get the heated wipers on the Peterbilt, those were installed and on. We did get the cutting edges, the carbide cutting edges for the trackless, they got put on. Trackless, we've been having some issues, the machine just stops moving. Shut it off, joystick error. I tried to get a hold of technical support, I ended up getting a hold of Trackless themselves. They gave me some troubleshooting. Looks like we got a bad switch quadplex that's bad. I was able to unhook it. We tried it and it seems to be fine. So I'm just waiting for a price on it, and then we're gonna have to order that and get it. Wastewater plant generator. That is kind of running. The mice got in and chewed the ribbon wire on the main computer board. It took quite a while, but we were able to get a computer board for it. The magnetic pickup for the that controls the governor, the RPM, and the motor. That was bad. They changed that, so it does run. The block heater went, and I did order a new block heater because the one that was on there was from '98, and I couldn't get the element had burnt, and they changed them. So I did. That should be in Thursday. So once we get the block heater in it, then we can get it warmed up, and then we'll be able to put it back in a weekly rotation, and we can start using it again because that'll never start. I don't think if it's cold. And then they're supposed to come back and do all the service on that unit as well. The RG is, so we should be hopefully up and going there. Christmas decorations are up. The docks and gangway was pulled. I did put a new light at the salt shed. The light had went, and I still have not got a chance to do the generator at the water plant. I don't know if that's going to happen before spring. Got quite a bit of work to do to get that done, and I think winter's here now. So
And where is the new one?
it's down there in the middle of the yard, in front of the building.
In a crate?
Well, no, it's a freestanding unit with a tank under it. They delivered it with a huge trailer, took it off with a loader, but I'm gonna have to just move it out of the way for snow. It's just, we got a lot of work there. You know, we gotta build a retaining wall, the conduit's all gonna be dug out, the old conduit, pull the old wire, remove the old one, fill that all in with stone or something. Then we gotta pour a 12-inch thick slab, run a new conduit, all the new wire. It's gonna be, there's no way that I don't think it'll be done before winter. I think it'll be more of a struggle than it will be, you know, to wait till springtime probably.
Okay.
Other than that, we got some trees and stuff, that we have to trim, but this week we're gonna try to get Prospect finished. Get the shoulders on. I built a small chute that mounts to the back of the 1-ton. And we used a small sander. We used it today. We started because the only alternative to that for us, for equipment we have to shovel it out of the loader bucket.
So is the sander able to convey it out?
Yeah. Yeah, one's in dust. I won't do item 4, but one's in dust. We did it after lunch. And we were able to do it. I put a vibrator in a chute, but it's not quite strong enough, so you still gotta pull it down.
That's not bad.
But it slides, you know, so we got one side
So that's,
most of the way done. We're not quite, we went from the top of the hill down to Racine Way.
so it's semi-automated.
Yeah, well, it's a lot better than shoveling all of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
It
So,
really is.
other than that, I think we're gonna be into the snow season and trying to keep up with equipment issues. I know the backhoe, I'm still having a trouble code on there. I talked to Dragoons about it to see if it's something they were interested in looking at, and the Case Construction side is a little different than the equipment side. So, and I did get a hold of Beauregard and talked to him, and the fault code, I got rid of the one I took care of, the one I changed the sensor on the water separator, so that one went away, sensor went. But I have it's a general it's a general code for faulty wiring. It could be a broken wire, it could be a dirty terminal. They said they'd have to go through from the computer all the way through and check every wire, so I don't know. I just don't like having a code on it because it's always beeping, gives you an exclamation point, alert. And then when you get used to that being there, when something does happen, you don't look and check what the codes are and something catastrophic could happen. So I don't know, I was hoping it would straighten itself out, but it hasn't yet. I don't know what we're gonna do with that one. I think if we send it, it's gonna be expensive. I don't know how much, I don't know how much.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I know, but you've got, probably, you're gonna have to either get a tractor trailer to pick it up and haul it there,
Yeah,
and then there's gonna be, I don't know, I don't know. We took it here, what we could go through, we put it in the shop, and we tried to, go through all the wires to see if there's any that were chafed, or unplugged, or
that's
can't
something that
seem to
Dragoons
find
could do.
anything.
Dragoons doesn't have a,
Well, they don't have, he couldn't tell me what the code was, it wasn't in their book, when I looked it up, I couldn't find it either, but it's a general, fault code for wiring. Could be a broken wire, could be a dirty plug, so even, that's what Bogart told me, that it's not like a direct code, it's for this. So, they would check every wire, I guess, from the computer right through. I mean, I can try them. It's probably a good thing I hadn't sent it, because we needed it 3 times in the last,
Right,
I don't know when a good time is.
There isn't a good
there
time.
is a good time.
There is no
So
good time.
anyway, if it doesn't go away, and obviously in the winter we don't really use it other than emergency. But I don't know when a good time. And if we're gonna send it there, we'll drive it,
That's what I'm thinking, so have they got, the experience and acceptance?
I just found out that what
it
it was, I mean, I'll talk to Wayne again and see if it's something that,
They could look, they could
Yeah.
try to find.
cause they didn't know even what the code was, it wasn't in their books. But it's a general fault code according to Beauregard's. I just can't see sending it over there unless we absolutely have to.
Yeah,
You either gotta have somebody haul it, or you gotta pay time and mileage for them to come here with a service, and if they can't find it in a day, how many days you gonna pay them to come back and forth, So, we'll see what happens, I guess. I'll talk to Wayne, I may let it set for a little bit to see what, roll the dice, see what happens in the streets.
I think either way, Mike, you're gonna, when it goes is when you'll need it. It's
No, I
just
know.
gonna happen that way.
And then at that time, I'll have to, when we do send it, I'll have to line up a backup,
right, that's
No.
what
one of the neighboring municipalities, at least to have, if we run into a bind. So, that's all I've got.
well, thanks, thank you. Thanks to all of you for all that hard work.
Oh, Christmas decorations, did you catch the one down by Praise Chopper that,
The cord caught it,
what's that?
the cord caught it,
The cord caught it?
yeah, it was hanging today, I had them go put it back up, and now it's,
I saw it last night when I came home and I meant to text you and I forgot.
somebody came today and told us,
Okay,
they went and put it back up, they ripped the bracket off the pole,
yeah,
but when I came through tonight, there's no lights on it, so I have a feeling it's the wires, I don't know if they didn't
Well,
check it.
I saw it hanging, I meant to call you. I'm
But it
sorry.
is put back up, but when I came by tonight, it wasn't lit up, so either it's broke, or there's electrical, cause there's an extension cord running from one side of the road to the other, and on a hook across on the wire.
Oh, gosh.
It's been like that since I've been here, well,
Geez.
it's been like that the last 8 years.
Well,
so-
so the cord's probably rotted out.
Yeah.
It was hanging from the cord, he said, when he got there,
It
so,
was.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant to, when I got home, I was like, I gotta text him and let him know about that.
And I've got 2 others that I'm gonna have to go up, I had them check, but nobody likes to play with electrical, so I'll take care of them. I think we got a bad breaker maybe on one, and I don't know what the other one,
Okay, well, I just wondered,
but they did put it back up today. Somebody
mentioned
came and
Christmas
but I noticed
decorations, I
tonight
remembered.
it wasn't lit up, so,
okay,
whether he just put it up and couldn't see the bulbs, or if I don't know, I'll have to see.
Okay, correspondence?
letter from Mayor McFetrich to the Champlain Fire District regarding fire hydrants. Correspondence from Donna Giroux regarding sidewalk plow, correspondence from Maniko Page regarding wastewater credit.
And I will say in regards to Mrs. Giroux's letter, she emailed me a couple of days ago, and she was very, very happy with the work that the man did in the sidewalk plow around her steps, so she's really happy with that. So I thank that operator for doing that so carefully. Some of these old houses right next to the sidewalk with these steps, it's tough, but she was very grateful. New business. Resolution of street extension Cherry Street. I have a frog in my throat.
Can I point out what I think is a possible typo before you get started?
Yeah,
On B, under therefore be it resolved, isn't that supposed to be 1/10 of a mile? To the nearest 1/10? Instead of 1/100th?
Two places, right?
That's 1/10, that's .09, that would be,
A tenth, right?
Yeah.
.9 would be a tenth, .09 would be 100.
yeah,
Yeah. two
Oh,
places.
I was reading
Yeah.
it as .9, I'm sorry,
yeah,
It'd be right.
as in 9/10, so no, it is right, I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's right.
No, it's less than
I was
10.
reading, I looked at that, said it says .9, 9/10,
Yeah. All right.
sorry.
No, that's fine. Village of Champlain Resolution of Street Extension, December 14th, 2020. Whereas Cherry Street is an existing road located in the Village of Champlain, open to public usage, and whereas the Village of Champlain desires to extend the length of Cherry Street as part of its road system, and whereas the Village of Champlain agrees to all maintenance and repair responsibilities for this roadway. Therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Champlain Board of Trustees at their regular meeting held on Monday, December 14th, 2020, hereby approves the extension of Cherry Street into its official road system being described as follows. A, beginning at Walnut Street and ending at a dead end. B, the length of the road to nearest 1/100th mile being .09 miles. A motion to approve this resolution as written,
So moved?
and a second.
Second.
Roll call, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye?
trustee
Sorry,
Malinsky,
no, no.
I'm just reading off the thing.
Oh.
Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Garrett,
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. Motion
I
carries.
should have followed the list.
That's
All
okay.
right. Thank you for that. Wastewater credit for Monique LePage. You have her letter and the work that was done on what would be owed.
Mm-hmm.
It falls into our requirements, I believe. Is there a motion to approve this sewer credit?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, discussion,
Well, it's pretty clear.
yeah. Everyone, no questions, no,
Nope, I'm good.
all right, all in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Old business. Under the comprehensive plan, I'm just gonna talk for a minute, again, this is something that's going to take more work than just an item on the agenda. But I do want to say that, I think it is very important that we come up with at least some kind of strategy, looking, say, 5 years down the road. This can be a short strategic document, it doesn't have to be a 20-page comprehensive plan. What I'm looking to do with the board's help and maybe some input from the public is that we identify our major issues, we establish some goals and policies, and then we develop a plan. I mean, some of the things on my mind are, of course, the upgrades at the wastewater treatment plant are essential. We have talked for a long time about downtown revitalization. We've got this water line replacement that's really important. We've got quality of life and vitality issues. Those are all things that I would like us to maybe narrow a little bit, look at some possible goals, look at types of funding that would be needed, and get together and start moving on some of these things. I don't know if this board wants to have like a work session where we just kind of brainstorm. If you want to each come up with what you think your goals would be, and then we bring them together and discuss them. I'm open to any kind of format, but I think a plan is really important. I don't want to just be reacting to one difficult situation after another. I'd like to look ahead.
Well, I hate to say that we need another meeting, but I like getting together and brainstorming. I've always found that very, very productive, because it spurs new ideas as you're going through it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I would vote for that.
I agree.
I know
How do
it
my
means-
two
I know-
virtual
I know it means another meeting. but
trustees feel?
Well, and also.
We could even do it virtually.
Yeah, I agree with Tommy.
Okay. Well, I think that would be best, and I actually would really look forward to that. I just want a little bit more of a plan.
Mhm.
All right, well,
Sounds like.
maybe early 2021, we could have a brainstorming meeting.
Yeah.
Need a whiteboard or a big flip chart.
Yeah, we could do
Notice
that.
budget in January too.
Yeah, well, that's important because that budget,
Yeah.
this is part of that budget
Mhm.
too. All right, so I will reach out to everyone and throw out a few possible dates, and you'll let me know if those work.
Sounds good.
Okay, great, thank you. Reserve funds, one thing that I do want to mention now that Mike Joliker and Woody and I have been talking about is the condition of the wastewater treatment plant. Now, I know we are looking for grant money / loan money, but there are some things that I don't think can wait. In particular, we have been talking about, now don't let me forget these. The clarifiers, the crack in the wall, crack in the, what do I call that?
Tanks,
Tanks.
aeration tanks.
Yeah. The drying beds, I mean, there are several things. We do have a significant amount in reserves for repairs right now. But-
We also have a healthy fund balance in
But-
this account.
Yeah, but that reserve, even though I believe it's 200,000,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not going to cover all this work. So I am suggesting that we add more to that, and we plan on tackling at least one of these next spring. And we get the quotes and we award the bid to somebody and we get started on this work, because this is dangerously bad, I think. Am I overstating it?
No, some of it's gotta be done.
So which one would you prioritize, clarifiers probably?
Clarifier or the tank? Tank, I don't know what's gonna happen, I gotta get, somebody here to look at it, the walls are separating. So we can only use one side of the plant right
You
now.
don't think it's possible to take two of those if they're both critical?
I think they can both, I would like to take two of them. And I'm saying, I don't know, 70 to 100,000 put into
I had
that
a,
reserve account.
I had 100 in my head, and I know that we can swing that, we have a healthy fund balance.
I think it's essential. And I don't wanna wait until it really, really falls apart, because it's already bad, and then we're in all kinds of trouble. So the money's
I
there,
agree. Do we need a motion?
we do.
I make a motion to transfer $100,000 to the reserve fund, would that be for repairs? What do you have it listed under?
882.
Maintenance and repair.
We were just on
Yeah, maintenance and repairs.
You wanna leave it open enough that if you
Yeah.
gotta,
We weren't gonna label it
you hate to
specifically, but
pinpoint it where you can't.
No, I was wondering what it was already labeled
I
as.
think it's
'cause we already
repairs.
had one.
repairs, reserve for repairs.
Yeah.
Okay, just reserve for
Which I
repairs.
think-
G882.
It should, yeah.
that still would, be appropriate. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. How about further discussion? Do you want Mike to explain any more of what's going on, the details of the problems?
No, they've been there a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the crack in the wall of an aeration tank sounds extremely serious to me if it
It's,
gets worse.
Well, you
yeah, the
can look
walls
at
are
the
separating,
pictures.
the walls are,
Well, you can shift the tanks, correct, but they've got to get fixed. You
Yeah,
can
you
shut
can let-
down a tank at a time.
that's a problem, we can only draw off one side, because usually you set it without you draw it to press it off, and there's no way to draw it down because it's leaking from one tank to the other on the same side. The walls are separated, there's crack like that wide,
Dear Lord.
Yeah,
so it looks small. I bought special caulking that when it gets wet, it expands to seal small cracks. But when he pressure washed it out today, he realized how big it
It
was.
has gotten,
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah,
like,
it's like,
it's just separating.
so,
So I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know what they're gonna do, we'll have to, somebody look at it, they may have to cut a section out and pour a new wall, I
so
don't
it
know.
sounds like we need to get started on it immediately, not-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
With hopes we could be repairing.
I mean, it's not leaking to the outside, it's leaking from tank to tank inside,
Right,
but we have to make them where they, it has to, they have to be divided to be able to use that side of the plant. And it's been too long, it's been,
yeah, I know.
so I asked Mike today if he
it's been
could
patched
contact,
before,
contact,
I haven't,
you know,
we
in the
got a
next,
few, but.
yeah,
sticking with it,
contact
and-
someone who can give us, some ideas of how the repair or the replacement or whatever would even be done.
You know,
because
have
it's-
ideas on how,
How to fix it,
yeah.
Right,
how
Right.
to fix it, plain and
Yeah,
simple.
I don't know if they have to cut the whole wall out, and I don't know, they have to drain all one side,
but the plan would be to do this in the spring.
yeah.
Right, but there's a lot of work to be done to get to that point.
Oh, I know, but that's why I want a
There's-
plan to
The other
know
issue
how to
is,
tackle it.
there's no room to get to it, cause the clarifier's there, so you only have this much room between them. So there's, I don't even think you get a machine in there to dig, I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Well,
But we need a plan.
yeah,
Yeah,
Correct.
right. With the timeline, right. Okay,
Need some kind of cost, and what, you know, what's the best way to fix it?
Yeah.
Who do you plan on starting with?
I was gonna call the Dukes, see if, it's basically a wall, you know, a concrete wall. There's pipes that go through on the outside, there's a vault, and I think the vault is shifting, it's pulling away. Where the walls butt in, it's separated. I mean, you've got a space that wide. I mean, those walls are, it's gotta be 10 foot high, maybe taller than that. They're ways down, those tanks. And there's nothing in between, you know, once it's done, I'd like to see if we could fill out with sand to help pressure to hold them tank walls.
Okay, how about the clarifiers, what's your,
They need to be rebuilt. I did the cross collector ones on the ends, the small ones, but the main clarifiers are gonna have to be, the bearings are seized on the shafts, I mean, they're spinning, the gears are freewheeling, wearing on the shafts. And I don't know, when they get to that, we got a quote, it was like close to 30,000.
34, I think it was 34.
That's for one side. Well, you got two sides, and I told Janet, probably wanna add another 30,000 on top of that, because any damage, you know, if they gotta fix concrete, if they've got whatever else is on top of, that's just for parts, the hotel stay, labor, I think it was a week labor for
Yeah.
3 guys, or,
Something like that.
so I think you're gonna run into more, everything is rusted, cause everything is water submerged, they, you know, they got pillow block bearings, like down inside water in the tanks, you know. Now they do them with all, I don't know if they're nylon or Teflon, so they're a 2-piece,
And they-
something that won't wear, where it's,
so could that be installed into this system, or are you talking?
yes,
Okay.
no, the tanks, the clarifier tanks, this would get installed into the tanks.
Right,
correct.
so this
We
new.
drain 'em down and
These new style bearings, et cetera, could be installed.
Correct, the old ones, you had to grease them, well, they're underwater, and that, I mean,
It's old school.
Yeah.
only when I make them pump them down and grease, I mean, you gotta, them tanks are 20 feet deep or more, you gotta pump it from one side to the other to drain them, you know, it's not it's not an easy thing. And back then, they used bearings underwater, and it's acidic, I mean, today they use different material.
That plant's what, over 40 years old now?
I don't know
Can you
when
remember the
they,
date on it?
no, I can't remember.
So does
It's
the
gotta be
wall
in that
need to
area.
be
Yeah,
repaired?
it's,
It's gotta be about 40 years.
I would say so,
So does the wall need to be repaired before the clarifier is done?
Two separate,
two
Thanks.
separate, so they
Okay,
actually
just-
could be,
Just,
the clarifier's under the tarp building, the covered building,
Okay, just-
that's the last step before it heads out, before the
Yeah.
is that
water
something
heads
that
out
we
the
could
river.
start to, or get quotes on now?
yeah.
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
did get a
We have
quote.
one quote,
Yeah.
we have one quote of about 34
I
thousand.
did it before the budget year, actually, just to
Yeah.
try to see what, and
Mhm.
he compared it to a plant that he did, somewhere in Vermont. So, just to give
So
us
that's
an idea,
something
you
we
know,
could
wanted
do
for
now.
numbers,
Yes,
at
and
least
that
to
could
have an
be
idea.
part of the
So
money that
maybe
we
that's
already
what we
have set
should-
aside,
That's what we should probably think about doing, is starting
Both
with
of them.
that. In the
Both of them.
meantime,
right?
I think
Yeah.
we just
taking
need,
care of one issue.
well, we can tackle both, they're two different
Yeah.
problems.
And-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
but
could-
what I'm saying, we can probably start with the clarifier where we're working on the wall.
We'll do it together, yeah.
They may be able to, I gotta think about that, yeah, I think they can be, one side can be isolated.
Well, I'm just trying
Okay.
to,
Separate, but it's two separate tanks.
mhm.
Biggest thing is, this time of year is the weather. You know, if it gets real cold, then you could
Right,
have
but if we
issues
can
with.
get the plan made in the winter
Yes.
and then move into the action in the
With a
spring.
little bit of luck in April, we can be starting on it.
I mean, the clarifier's not as bad, because that's got a tarp over it, it's covered.
So that can probably be done this winter, you think,
Um,
in mild weather?
maybe, yeah. You just don't wanna get it where you're cooling that and then, cause you do get ice in there, a lot of times we don't need to put a salamander in there. Cause the tops will freeze, it'll break them.
And what needs to be done to the drying beds?
Woody discussed that
Yeah,
more,
yeah,
but
I can actually show you some pictures and a description of it.
I don't know if have you ever been in them drying beds? There's basically two cement,
I've been there.
there's two cement rails,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like aggregate with piping. It's piping underneath, and there's like stone that if there's any moisture or any water in the sludge, it can drain out and go back to the plant. But it's tough, cause even like when we're loading trucks, you can only get the center out, so everything gets piled on the sides you can't get, so you gotta get off. As soon as you get off, you get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's brainstorming on, you know, do they make an asphalt or a concrete that water will go through. I know they make concrete like that, but we have to see if it's something that won't blind with the fines from the sludge. Cause any water in there is still gotta go down through, but it's tough, cause once you get off, it's just stone, you spin, you have to back all the way to the doors, and then to try to get back on the concrete to go again.
Yeah, I
So-
see that, I know what you mean, but is there any other municipalities we can compare to see what their beds are?
Like, a lot of them, they have, like Ross's Point, they've got, you know, 10 times the beds we have. They're all they do is lay it out flat and let it dry in these long beds. We don't have that, I mean, we have to pile it. It's a different style.
And we don't have the real estate to do it either.
Right,
No,
right,
cause they lay it out flat so it dries, you know, they just put a thin layer all the way through.
But
I don't know other places.
That's what I mean, I'm wondering if there's probably other methods for that flooring.
Well-
I'm sure when this was done, it was built because they were doing the bags, and they were stacked on pallets. It wasn't getting dumped in with dump trailer. So it was probably not really designed for the way it's being done, as
Yeah.
far as the footage, you know, the square footage, is my guess.
Okay, so that's kinda where I'm going, so
But
maybe
I
it
don't-
needs to be redesigned for what we're doing.
well, let me
I don't
just
know.
say that engineering study that we just had done, it does mention those, and they probably do have some options for
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, yeah, but I think we have a motion on the floor to
Yep.
transfer this.
Yep.
Right,
In a second,
and is there any more discussion about that particular sum of money and where we
Who
wanna go with
seconded
it?
it?
Nikki.
Nikki,
Okay.
No?
okay.
No.
Roll call.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Trombley.
Aye,
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Garrick. Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. All right, thank you. I think that's all I have. I believe.
awesome. Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.